one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something to you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Week 12 in the NFL. That kind of rhymed right there. Y'all heard that? Week 12 in the NFL. That shit kind of rhymed. But what is good with it, people? My peoples. What do you mean, my peoples? Family, what's good? How was Thanksgiving? I hope you got full. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I really do. Spending time with loved ones. I worked on Thanksgiving, and I threw my back out on Thanksgiving. So a lot of things happened to me on Thanksgiving. We'll probably get into that later on in the show. But I hope you enjoyed Thanksgiving with your family, friends, loved ones. You know, I hope you got to go home, spend time with your family. And then after that, eating, filling up the plates, the bellies, go home and spend time with your loved one. You know, and fuck the night away. Eat, drink, and I hope you was merry. My night did not go like that, but we'll get into that later on Thanksgiving night. A 3-day series of tragedy. Not like something crazy, but I told y'all I don't enjoy Thanksgiving. I never do. And yeah, this was just another year on that long list of me fucking hating Thanksgiving. But that is neither here nor there. Did not let me ruin your Thanksgiving and how what you had. I enjoyed. Hey, in the comment section, in the comments, tell me what was your favorite thing you had for Thanksgiving this year. What was whether it be a dessert, a drink, a food. They had I went after I got off of work, I ended up getting some making me a plate. I went to my aunt's crib to make me a plate of food. Bro, the rice was next level. I know a lot of people is big mac and cheese people. I like macaroni and cheese. But I kind of like it less than like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't love macaroni and cheese. For one, I'm not going to eat your macaroni and cheese if it ain't baked. So, that's one. I never really had that problem in black families. The only time I ever went to somebody's house and they didn't have a baked macaroni was when I went to a white person's house. That's no shade at white people. They just don't be baking their macaroni and cheese sometimes, or a lot of times. Not to mention, I done had 2 experiences going over white people. Well, I done had more than that, but these 2 specific ones when it come to macaroni and cheese. The first time the macaroni and cheese was it was cooked on the stove, but it was like finished off and everything on top of the stove, and it was hella cheese in it. They put like 5 different cheese. Now I don't like cheese, so I know what you're thinking. So why do you like macaroni and cheese? Okay, now this next part gonna sound hella crazy. Macaroni and cheese that tastes like cheese, not gonna enjoy it. macaroni and cheese that tastes a little bit more sophisticated than just a big block of cheese, that's what I enjoy. I done had garlic macaroni and cheeses. I done had multiple macaroni and cheeses that did not taste like cheese to me. That's why I enjoy it. If I'm eating macaroni and cheese that tastes like I'm just eating blocks of cheese, I'm not going to eat it. Okay? Not to mention, I get tired of macaroni and cheese after a certain amount of time because eventually it's all going to start tasting like cheese to me. So I like macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese. Oh, in the second person's house I went over, they cooked a Stouffer macaroni. And I ain't got no problem with Stouffer's, but that shit ain't macaroni and cheese, bro. That's just cheese pasta. But I didn't enjoy it. But either way, I'm not the biggest macaroni and cheese fan. I'm starting to realize that. Like, I saw Matt Judon go crazy on mac and cheese. I'm not going that far. I'm still going to always put mac and cheese on my plate. This year made me realize how much more I love rice than I love mac and cheese, which kind of makes sense because I eat rice damn near every week. I'm eating rice at some point in time every single week. Like every single. I done ate rice the last 4 days. I'm never going to eat macaroni and cheese for more than like 2 days straight. Rice, I could eat that shit every day. The only thing that kind of disappointed me that we didn't have mashed potatoes this year, bro. That, I ain't gonna lie, that kind of pissed me off. Mashed potatoes and rice, bro. Oh, that's a lot of starch, bro. It's not your plate. It's mine. But, you know, drop in the comments what y'all have for y'all Thanksgiving, what you enjoyed at your Thanksgiving and whatnot. You could drop, and also, you don't have to drop what food you could really drop whatever the fuck kind of comment you want to, but and I'm gonna probably reply to it, but I want to know what was your favorite thing you had for Thanksgiving. We had, for the desserts, you got to remember also, I'm coming into this after everybody done went home and whatnot. And I'm gonna get deeper into this story later on in the show. But as a matter of fact, let's talk about Thanksgiving Day real quick, the games. The only game I got to see on Thanksgiving was the first one, and that was Green Bay, Detroit. So I am going to talk about that one in a little minute, but I was at work during Washington, Dallas, and I was about to leave work before the 49ers Seahawks game came on, but I could not watch that game because the day before Thanksgiving, something in my back, I pulled something in my lower back. Now, I ain't never had a back injury. I done played sports and all that. I've never had a back injury. So I didn't really know how serious it was at the time it had happened. Plus, we only had like a couple minutes left at work. But I should have known it was serious because when it happened and I got back, like I could barely move. I could barely stand up straight. I could feel a crazy pain all throughout my back with any movement. But I didn't think too hard about it. I just muscled through it. When I went home that night, it still wasn't like, it was in excruciating pain. So I used, I got like this huge, what is this shit called? It's called a Eptimone Fitness. Eptimone, it's called a Vibra. It's basically a big ass massage stick, bro. It's not even just a stick. Like, this shit is huge. Like, it's a massage thing that got 4 different levels to it. And I just put it on my lower back, hoping that shit was going to work, right? So I get up on Thanksgiving Day and I watch this Green Bay game. And I'm going to get to the Green Bay game. After that game, I head to work. As I'm at work, like I said, we got like a couple minutes left. And I feel something in my back just go. How do I even describe it, bro? Because it didn't feel like nothing popped. It just felt like my back just got real tight. I'll put it like that. Out of nowhere, it just got real tight. And I could barely fucking walk. Like, bro, it was worse than the first day. This shit, like, when I tell you, and it happened literally as I had like 20, 30 minutes left at work. I'm talking, bro, I could barely move. I couldn't lift shit. I'm trying to lift this box. And, bruh, I can't even describe it. I can't bend over. I can't lean to the side. Like, I'm walking like a half a mile per hour right now, not realizing how bad it is, right? So I end up going home earlier before the end of the shift because I couldn't do shit else. And like, when I know I can't lift or move, I know it's time for me to bounce. But this was different. This wasn't me like just being tired. This was legit like, oh, something in my back. Well, let me tell y'all about this goofy, bro. So we got a safety manager at work, right? And as I'm walking, my manager told me to go see him before I left. And as I'm going to see him, he leaving. And as I walk up on him, I'm like, yo, I was told to come see you. He was like, bro, right now as I'm finna leave. Man, I look at him and say, you think I wanted to get hurt when I'm about to leave too? It's 30 minutes left in the shift. You thought I wanted to get hurt? I was like, bro, if my manager didn't send me to you, I wouldn't even came to you. I can't stand some of these smart mouth ass. I was finna say something. Yo, when you become somebody who get a position of authority or some type of higher position, bro, don't become snobby and disrespectful, bro. Don't use your position to look down and talk down and act down on other people, bro. Dead ass. You got to be the worst type of person to be put in a higher position, but then take that position for granted. Like if I get hurt a second before you finna walk out the door, it's still your job, bro. You mad because you want to go home for Thanksgiving. Motherfucker, I'm working on Thanksgiving just like you. And if I wasn't hurt, I would still be here. You about to leave. Like, so, yo, when you get blessed to be put in a higher position, bro, don't become a dickhead. But as I go home, I get in my car and I struggle to walk to my car from the warehouse all the way back to the parking lot to my truck. And this one of them times I regretted parking so far away from the actual building. I get to my truck and it takes me like 3 minutes to figure out how the fuck am I going to get up in this truck. That's how bad my shit was hurting. I finally get in my truck and the pain start like I'm talking about this shit cranked to 1,000,000,000. I drive all the way to my aunt's house. About a 20-minute drive from where my job to her house. And when I tell you I did not move anything but my upper arm to move the steering wheel and my foot to put on gas and brakes, I made no sudden movements the whole drive. That's when I knew, okay, something definitely wrong. So I finally get to my aunt's house and I basically roll my dumb ass out the truck. This is when I regretted having a truck that sit higher. I basically roll out the truck and fall out the car, basically. I find a way to drag myself up these damn steps and into the house. I find a way to lean on the wall and drag myself to my mama's room that's in the back. And my aunt there, my mama there, and a whole bunch of people there. And I just fall straight on the floor. People trying to greet me and whatnot. And I fell straight on the floor and told my mama, like, yo, I need some pills, like some ibuprofen or something. I popped about 10 of them bitches. I don't advise people doing that. Every time I'm in crazy pain, I just pop a whole bunch of medicine. In my mind, not medicine, I pop a whole bunch of ibuprofens. But I read a thing the other day that said, well, a couple months ago, that said that shit fuck your heart up and whatnot. So I really need to chill out on that. But I'm like one of them. I never call myself an alpha male, but I act real cartoonish, alpha male cartoonish when it's stuff like this pain. You know how you be seeing them cartoons where the alpha male on cartoons try to, you can see they clearly in pain, but no, I'm good. Yeah, that's how my dumb ass be. But I couldn't walk, basically. So I'm laid out on the floor for about a good 30, 40 minutes, right? And it's pissing me off in my mind that I really cannot move. Like I'm trying to get up with every fiber of being in my body and I cannot move, bro, because the pain is so crazy. Never had a back injury. So I'm pissed. I find a way to I'm just using my upper body strength now to pull myself up. I pull myself up on this chair that's in front of me and I try to sit up straight. When I tell you this shit hurt worse, I immediately slid out the motherfucking chair. So I dragged myself towards the doorway after like a good, I want to say 40, 50 minutes now. And now I'm dragging myself up the hallway, but I done picked myself up and I'm leaning against the wall and my aunt is holding my back from behind. I didn't even realize she was behind me. Because I'm still trying to complete the mission. My mission was to come, get me some food, go home, watch the game. And right now in my mind, I'm like, I want y'all to know I'm in so much pain. I wasn't even thinking about the game at that point, going home and watching the game. At this moment, I'm just thinking about I need to get the food, go home. When I had a touchdown at the house, I would have remembered, okay, let me turn on the game. I get up there to where the food at and I fall down into this chair. And my aunt and my sister like, oh, yo, you need to just like stop moving. Like, we'll fix your plate. And I had already told them I didn't want them to fix my plate because I don't like people Bro, I'm very particular how I make mine. Like, I'm using clean spoons. I'm not using no spoon that was on touching nothing that I don't like. I don't want no juices of food that I don't like in the food that I want. Like, rice can be very overpowered by other sauces from other foods. They be eating hog mogs and chitlins and shit like that. I don't want yam juice, chitlin juice, hog mog juice, green juice. I don't want no juice from a food that I'm not gonna eat on my food, bro. All right, straight up. So that's why they was like, you want somebody to fix your plate? I was like, no. I don't want nobody to fix my plate. In my head, I'm like, me fool man, I fix my own plate. Not gonna happen. So I done fell out in this second chair. I'm up front now. My aunt and my sister like, yo, you cannot move, bro. But then they like, as it's getting worse, like the pain getting worse, tears is coming out I'm not crying, but tears is coming out like water coming down my eyes and shit. Cause that's how excruciating this pain is. Like, I don't know if you ever done broke a bone, or if you done played sports and you done suffered an injury that was like painful as a motherfucker, you know what I'm talking about. You're not crying, but your body just cannot stop these waterfalls coming out of your face. But that's where I'm at. And my whole body is in pain now, bro. I cannot move. My aunt and my sister have to find a way to lift me up. And you guys, I'm a 200-pound dude. They don't weigh nowhere near what I weigh. Well, actually, ignore that part. They pick me up and they lay me out in the front room on the couch. Bruh. When they get ice packs and they get heating pads, this back cream that work better than icy hot. And when I tell you, my whole back started to feel like, bruh, it felt like buffaloes was just ramming into my back, bruh. I ain't never suffered a back injury, and I'm still feeling it right now. Like, my back is still hurting right now. I'm gonna tell you how goofy I am, though. After like 2 hours, this was about a 2.5 hour process of me having my back worked on to be able to get me to just be able to stand up straight. Like, I couldn't even stand up, or I couldn't even sit up straight because that's how bad the pain was. So after about 3 hours, say, give or take, we finally got me up, leaning on stuff, being able to be at least walk slowly to places. But the pain in my back is, now I'm lying to them, telling them that it's fine, because if I told them that it was still hurting as bad as it was, they would have made me stay there, and I wasn't about to do that. So I just told them that it still hurt, but like I can move a little bit. Bruh. Shout out to my cousin, them, my sister, my aunt, all them for getting me through that, because that's why I didn't end up watching 49 in Seattle. By the time I finally got home, dog, it was about 12 at night. Dead ass. That, and my back was hurting all the way through the night. I had to pop all type of, I had to do all type of treatments and shit like that all through the night, and still had to get up and go to work the next day. Now, I would have worked a double on Friday, but I didn't, because I didn't think my back was going to make it through the day. It was a good thing I didn't, because when I got home later that night, my back went back to a billion. Today has been the only part. It's been the easiest day so far that I've been dealing with this fucking back injury, bro. So I'm not quite sure what's wrong with it. I'm going to give it like another week. If it's still hurting, I'm probably just going to have to head to the hospital and figure out what's going on. Because I ain't finna be walking around with like no real injury in my back. Like, if I just pulled something, that'll be straight. That can heal on its own. There's a lot of different things that can heal on its own. Now, if I like ruptured a disc or tore something, yeah, that's not something that's going to heal on its own. That's something I'm going to have to get surgery on. So we hoping that it ain't that serious, but we are here. And once again, fuck Thanksgiving for me, but happy Thanksgiving to you. I cannot tell you how important it is to me that you guys had a great Thanksgiving, spending time with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Hey, maybe you threw out that I got a show that I watch, and I'm fucking with you, man. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all Thanksgiving, though. So let's get into these games. Week 12 picks and predictions. But first, obviously, we cannot go over Washington, Dallas. We cannot go over 49 in Seattle, because I did not watch either of those games. Dallas did end up blowing out Washington 45-10, and the 49ers did end up winning 31-13. I told you that I predicted that a lot of these would end up being blowouts. I hope that it didn't happen, but based off of what I done seen from every team that had played, we pretty much knew what was up. And on Friday, I also did not see that Miami-New York game because I was at work for most of it. And when I got home, once again, I had to start treatment on my back. So doing things to make sure my back was getting back to where it needed to be. So I also cannot break down that game, but Miami won 34-13. And it was just a piss poor performance from the quarterback also. I don't even understand why you bench Zach Wilson this long into the season, as if any of them backups give you a better chance. You could have went out and signed Joe Flacco. You could have went out and signed RG3. There's a lot of different options the Jets could have did before letting Zach Wilson play this deep into the season. But now that you have let him play this deep into the season, I don't really understand the purpose of benching him for quarterbacks that's worse than he is, to be completely honest with you. And I told you already, I don't think Rob Saleh should lose his job because it's a lot of defensive coordinators out there who have terrible defenses right now. Rob Saleh is not one of them. And if I have to give a credit, if you look at an offensive-minded head coach and you give him credit for having a great offense, I think it's insane for me to look at Rob Saleh and say he ain't doing his job when he got a damn good defense. And we done seen a lot of coaches who might not be the greatest all-around coach, but they survive off of being great at one thing for a couple more years. And I'm not going to lie, Rob Saleh really haven't had much. This is why he kept not benching Zach Wilson, because he knew what he had playing behind Zach Wilson. Now, the Jets could have went after Lamar Jackson in the offseason. The Jets can't really be mad at that. I know you can't control Aaron Rodgers being hurt, but this is an older quarterback. You still had a bad offensive line. Now, your offensive line ain't had shit to do with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. But still, I don't understand at this point into the season when you know all of these different things. I would have just let Zach Wilson finish out the season, to be completely honest with you. There's no point in putting another quarterback out there, getting them hurt, having them lose their confidence. There's no point in that. You're not making the playoffs. This is not the point of the season where you say, okay, well, let's start somebody else and see if they can jumpstart us to get us to the playoffs. That's not what this is going to be. So I don't understand. And plus, why change up an already struggling offense and put another guy in there who just as bad as Wilson? So now we got new struggles to deal with. I don't understand that. That's a bad decision, in my opinion, by Rob Saleh. But how can you really say that that's a bad decision when you got these bozo analysts or these bozo reporters asking him on a weekly basis, you going to stick with Zach Wilson? You going to stick with Zach Wilson? You going to stick with Zach Wilson? And then get on TV the next day when the dude who played behind Zach Wilson played bad and he finally started that dude and be like, why would you bench Zach Wilson this far into the season? You really can't win with these morons. But I digress. Green Bay, Detroit. I told you when I picked Detroit to win this game. I said it. I'm picking Detroit, but I don't want to. Packer fans, I told you, bro. I still rocked with y'all. I told you I'm still a Packer guy. I told you I'm still rocking with these boys. After this game, it's no question Jordan Love is the franchise quarterback for this team. It's no question. I'm glad I saw this game. He did exactly what I've been seeing. I just couldn't stand on business like I was supposed to. That's on me, Jordan. I'm standing 10 toes down on business. I am not going to waver off of this again. Like I said, every year I've been on the show, Matt LaFleur is a good coach, a great coach, and Jordan Love is the answer, like I said at the beginning of the season. I know exactly what I was saying for him. This motherfucker like a mini Aaron Rodgers, bro. The way he can put his arm to throw from these different slots and what. Jordan Love is going to be a top 5 quarterback very soon. They get him another real option out there at the receiving position. They go get him a real tight end instead of these makeshift tight ends that Green Bay like to do. Aaron Jones get healthy. Oh, my goodness. The sky is the limit for this team. Jordan Love is a franchise quarterback. He see the field good. And you know what? That's on me on early in the season, getting mad at Matt LaFleur. What Matt LaFleur was doing is exactly what coaches should be doing. He don't have time to try to figure out if Jordan Love can be it by having him dink and dunk and run the ball all the time. He need to figure out if Jordan Love is the answer right now. So you know what he do? He run a lot of plays. He'll throw the ball 5 times in a row. He'll throw the ball 6 times in a row. He don't give 2 flying fucks about getting the running game going because he need to figure out if Jordan Love is the answer. And if Jordan Love is the answer, then we'll start to figure out how to put a scheme around him to get him to where we need him to be. But if I don't know if he the answer or not, then what does it do me by having him hand the ball off a million times just to win games? I told you, I don't like head coaches that coach up young quarterbacks to win games for them. Because ultimately that's not getting you a Super Bowl. When you look across and you see teams with explosive offenses, we're not beating that team. But that you don't want to be fired. And you can be here longer than that quarterback possibly if you prove that you find ways to get wins and rather the quarterback just a bad quarterback. What Matt LaFleur chose to do was, I'm not finna handicap Jordan Love. I'm not finna handcuff him. I'm finna go out there and coach him up like he Aaron Rodgers. I'm finna have him run plays that I would give to Rodgers. I'm finna have him throw the ball like I would have Aaron Rodgers throw the ball. I'm not finna run the ball 50 times a game. I'm not finna run the ball and rely on defense. I'm finna actually develop this quarterback. And that's the thing that's missing in today's NFL. What happened to development? We always either blame it on a coach or on a quarterback or on the player. We love blaming shit on players. Look at what Matt LaFleur is doing. Matt LaFleur done put his reputation on the line all year to develop Jordan Love. And what he realized was development ain't always pretty. Development don't always go the way you want it to go. Development don't lead you to first place in the division the first year of that true development taking off because it's the first year Jordan Love been a starter. What development do is show you that down the line this season, he gonna get to where we need him to be. And if I thought that his first game against the Bears was good, this game and his last week was good, this game right here against Detroit told me everything I needed to know. And that's this. Dan Campbell is still not a good head coach to me. I don't care how many motivational speeches he get. I don't care how big and rah he get. He's not a great head coach, bro. He might be a good one, and I doubt that, but he ain't no great one. Matt LaFleur is a great head coach. He is developing Jordan Love while still having a great defense, while still putting out a great product. The only reason it didn't look great was because he leaned all the way in developing his quarterback. And to me, that's what makes you a great head coach. Matt LaFleur was willing to lose his job to get Jordan Love to where he needed him to be. It was games that I was watching. I'm like, why is this what we calling? Just run the ball. Matt LaFleur said no, because that's not what's going to get Jordan Love to where he need to be. Jordan Love need to be able to throw the ball. He need to know that I trust him. Just like John Harbaugh did for Lamar Jackson in that rookie season of that playoff game. He could have pulled him and brought in Joe Flacco, but he didn't do that because he needed Lamar to know, I have faith in you, because this is a moment that I cannot get back. If I fail in this moment, if I take this moment and bench Lamar for Joe Flacco, then all I'm showing Lamar is I care more about me than I do about him. In that moment, John Harbaugh had a decision. Do I lean all the way into Lamar Jackson, or do I continue to lean into what's best for me? And in that moment, with the whole crowd chanting for Joe Flacco, John Harbaugh said, I'm going to lean fully into Lamar Jackson. I'm going to lean all the way into this kid. I'm going to show him that he has my unwavering faith. I don't care if we lose or win. He needs to know that I got his back. I'm not benching him. I'm not thinking about pulling him. We win and we lose with you. And if he know that now, then he'll know that forever. And look at the relationship that they have. Matt LaFleur made a decision. Either I can show this kid that I don't really care too much about his development. I just care about winning these games. Or I can show him, no, I'm fully locked in with you, my guy. This ain't me trying to survive post Aaron Rodgers. No. If I survive, it's going to be because of you, my guy. I'm linked in. I'm locked in with you. That's what you need from a head coach. Bro, being the greatest at scheming and all that, that's cool. But when you put your unwavering faith in a quarterback and you actually lean into developing them, it's crazy what can happen. You can't watch that game and I'm not telling you that was a perfect game, but what I'm telling you is look at Jordan Love and how comfortable he looked in that game. Look at the throw. He looked like a young Aaron Rodgers. You can't convince me he don't, because every time I watch him, I literally say to myself, man, he throw this thing like a young Aaron Rodgers. I'm telling you. They get him a number one receiver and a tight end. This team's winning that division next year. I'm telling you. And with Matt LaFleur, being able to open the playbook even more with a second off season under his belt with Jordan Love with a full season under his belt now. Oh my God. I'm telling you right now. And see, this is what my problem has always been with Chicago and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert going into what, his 4th year after this? Jordan Love might be going into the same year, but as a starter, this is Jordan Love's first full year. I already know he's a franchise quarterback. Next year, I almost can guarantee you he will be in the MVP conversation. I can almost guarantee it to you. But I digress. Detroit, you are exactly what I thought you were. I said it. The Cowboys, the Niners, and the Eagles are just the top 3 teams in the NFC. The Detroit and Seattle are not on their level. I don't know how people couldn't see that, especially after the Ravens especially after the Ravens dog walked both of them. I don't know how y'all didn't reform y'all opinion. Like, I saw Jeff Saturday still have the Lions rated over the Ravens as a top 5 team in the NFL. And to me, that's just foolish. I understand people saying the Cowboys don't have wins against teams over 500. At the end of the day, that's a conversation for a different time because you still just have to play who in front of you. And I remember a time where the Cowboys was having competitive games against bad teams. So I'm not finna get on here and complain because the Cowboys decided to beat the shit out of a bad team. It's just not going to happen. However, when you look at the Cowboys, you look at the Niners, you look at the Eagles, those 3 teams, to me, when you watch them play, they are so far and away better than Detroit and Seattle. And that's exactly why I picked Detroit and Seattle. I picked Seattle to lose. I wanted to pick Detroit to lose, but they wasn't going up against a team. You know, the Green Bay been breaking my heart the last couple of weeks. But I'm glad I had said that in the last video because Detroit is what I thought. And I think Detroit started off on a heater, and they've been getting worse weekly, in my opinion. And it might not be because stat-wise, but I've watched the games. In the games, to me, Detroit look like they lose a little bit of something every game. That's what I'm seeing from Miami. Not to the same extent, but Miami's best highlights probably happened already. And they're going to have to figure out a way to get out of that. They're going to have to coach themselves out of that. McDaniel's going to have to find a way to get his players up for the rest of this season. And I'm not saying up as in they not prepared to play the rest of these games. He got to find a way to match the energy that they had when they started the season, when they smacked Broncos the way they did. Because when you look at teams like San Fran, you look at teams like Philly, you look at teams like the Ravens, you look at teams like the Chiefs, you look at teams like the Bills, you can say to yourself, we haven't even seen the best of those teams yet. Like we haven't even seen those teams' best games. Meanwhile, you could say, we might have seen Dallas's best game week 1. We might have seen the best game from the Dolphins against the Broncos. And that's not something you want to be saying getting into the playoffs when other teams getting better and you just surviving. And for Dallas, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but if they were, you wouldn't even notice it because of how bad the NFC is. But back to Detroit. Detroit, to me, is such a not bad team. They are one of those teams that is only good because of the lack of competition in the NFC and because analysts would rather take the quick shortcut to tell you a story instead of sitting down telling you, well, I understand what stats and yada, yada, yada. But if you really look at Detroit, they really nowhere near as good as the upper echelon teams in this conference. And they would be a lower step down if it were more teams in the conference that were as good. Shit, they probably wouldn't even have to be as good as Dallas now. They just have to have a better quarterback than listen. I understand y'all like Jared Goff, but I don't watch this man every year since he's been around. He's not a franchise quarterback by talent. He might be a franchise quarterback by mistake because you mistakenly gave him that contract because of a couple good games, or by no choice other than I don't have a choice. I have to make him my franchise quarterback for a while. But he's not a franchise quarterback just off of pure talent. That's why I'm confused still to this day when Ryan Clark said he had more faith in Jared Goff than any quarterback not named Pat Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. Because Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts was 2 quarterbacks that should have easily been more trustworthy than a Jared Goff. And people could, he got to a Super Bowl. Bro, Y'all got, at some point in time, y'all gonna have to realize this ain't the channel that feed into that nonsense that y'all be spewing. I actually add context to everything. So when you say Jared Goff been to a Super Bowl, also bring up the talent that was on that team. And also bring up the fact they didn't win it. And it wasn't because their defense. Because the defense for the the Rams played great that game. But I digress. Point being, neither Seattle nor the Lions, in my opinion, are good enough to compete with healthy A-game 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles, which is why it's a shame. The NFC really is not a competitive thing, in my opinion, right now. Like, it does me no justice really spending a lot of time talking about the season as far as the NFC perspective until we get to the playoffs, because I don't truly believe, like, I don't want to get on here and just be feeding y'all nonsense. Y'all know I'm not never going to do that to y'all. I truly don't believe in any team in the NFC not named Dallas, Philly, 49ers. It's no team in the NFC I have any type of faith in right now outside of those three teams. So for me to get on here and try to convince you that another team in the NFC could beat one of these teams would just be me trying to garner views or create topics, and that's just not me, because I got no faith in none of those teams outside of those top three teams that I just named: the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Dallas Cowboys. Those are the only three teams that I think are good enough to compete for a Super Bowl. And I don't think any team under them is going to beat them unless one of them three teams take a major injury. Getting to Washington real quick. It's really not shocking that Washington continue to go out here and get their ass beat like this. It's not shocking that Washington continue to lose. Washington don't got a pass rush. And it ain't because they ain't got talent. Like I said multiple times, I cannot understand for the life of me how a team like Washington had the talent that they had at one point in time and was not a team that was damn near undefeated or one of the most vaunted defenses in the league. Ron Rivera, he done kept this job because of cancer. Point blank period. I don't care how harsh you think that sound. That is the only reason he is still employed as a head coach. And now Eric Bieniemy, like I said in the offseason, is paying for that nonsense. Ron Rivera is a bad head coach who has gotten nothing out of this team over his tenure here. And yet, Eric Bieniemy was forced to hire down, meaning he had to go downward instead of upward after success. And now they are trying to blame him also. They already fired Jack Del Rio, which makes sense. But how much could you really blame him when Ron Rivera is a defensive-minded coach? They gave him credit for that Carolina defense when it was great. So when it's bad, it's on the coordinator, but when it's good, it's on your defensive-minded head coach. Interesting. It's very funny to me that you gave Ron Rivera credit for a lot of great players in Carolina, i.e. Luke fucking Kuechly, who I would be convinced don't need coaching to be as great as he is. He one of them dudes who get people hired. You don't make him better. He make you better. Now, I could argue he don't have a Luke Kuechly level player on his defense right now. But he got players that could produce at that level if he coached them up. Jonathan Allen should have double-digit sacks at least 5 years in a row. 5 years out of his career so far. Deron Payne both of them should be all pros on a yearly basis with top-tier sacks, top-tier pressures, top-tier quarterback hits, and greater. They shouldn't just be known for stopping the run. But you don't wasted both of them, in my opinion, every year of their career so far. Montez Sweat should have been a dude who had, 10 sacks on a regular basis and helping you be a defensive, vaunted defense on the week. But that's not what happened. Chase Young should have been in a defensive player of the year conversation every year. Now, I know he was hurt some, but when he was back, what did you do with him? That's my problem. I just gave you four studs that Washington wasted. 2 of them not even on the team no more. I imagine one of them other 2 will be traded eventually. The value of all of these dudes is only going down. But let's blame Eric Bieniemy. This is my problem. You so quick to not want Eric Bieniemy to get an opportunity to coach a team that you really is willing to blame him for something that's already been going on before he even got here. The only fault in Eric Bieniemy is to ever take this job in the first place, in my opinion. But, you know, it is what it is. Hopping to Seattle real quick. Seattle is an interesting team to me. Because they much like the Lions, but I think that they are even in a worse quarterback position because I don't think Jared Goff is worse than Geno Smith. Not only that, I don't understand how you got this type of talent littered throughout this offense. And this is not an offense that can average 30 points a game. I told you, when that's happening, that's telling me a couple things. You got a quarterback problem, an offensive coordinator problem, or just an offensive scheme problem. Because, and when you look at Seattle, you pretty much see exactly what we're talking about. Either they run the ball too much or they throw the ball too much. Or, matter of fact, let me not even say it like that. They'll be throwing the ball great, and then they'll decide to run the ball to fuck everything up. They'll be running the ball great. Then they decide, let's throw it a little bit and fuck everything up. Not only do they do it, they choose to do it on some of the worst downs possible. Like, okay, let's do it on this down. Instead of on like 3rd and 1, let's try this on 3rd and 5 after we just picked up 5 yards running the ball. Now let's just randomly throw the ball out of here. Randomly throw the ball. Nobody ready for a throw. We fuck up, and now we on 3rd and long. And instead of throwing it again instead of because we just fucked up our momentum, now we gotta throw it. Now they know we gotta throw it. And now it's a 3 and out and we off the field once again. It's this type of nonsense. Or you'll have a drive where running the whole drive, killing the run on this drive. They done ran this ball for about 30 yards on this drive. And then randomly start throwing bad passes. Or they throwing the ball real good. Geno in a rhythm. And then out of nowhere, now let's run, throw, run, throw, run. What? So I don't understand Seattle. This is exactly why I thought they were. That's what I've been telling y'all, Seattle and Detroit. I've been basically saying this about them all year or for the past couple weeks, that I didn't think that they was really legitimate teams. But like I said, I don't want to waste too much time talking about NFC teams outside of those three because I have no faith in those other teams in the NFC. And Miami, New York, I'm not going to talk about that because I didn't see it. But, okay, we're getting into these Sunday games for Week 12. New Orleans is in Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Bro, for some reason, the days in my head just randomly got all mushed together. Neither here nor there. Atlanta coming to this game 4-6. New Orleans coming to this game 5-5. I'm going to take New Orleans in this game, bro. I'm not wasting too much more time on that game. I told y'all, bro, with them bad NFC teams, just understand when I'm not wasting my time talking about those teams right now, it's because other teams need more time than the bad ones. The 2-8 New England Patriots head into New York to take on the 3-8 New York Giants. I'm going to take Mac Jones and them boys. I still fuck with Mac. That's my guy, man. I got to. Roll Tide. The 1-9 Carolina Panthers head into Tennessee to take on the 3-7 Tennessee Titans. I'm going to take Carolina. I said fuck it. That's really why I took Carolina. The 7-3 Jacksonville Jaguars head into Houston to take on the 6-4 Houston Texans. I'm taking the Texans. Now, the Texans already beat them earlier this year. The Texans beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. And this is an interesting game because Trevor Lawrence could have one of them games. He have like 2 or 3 of them a year where he looked like the best quarterback in the NFL, possibly. He could have one of those games. I just don't think it's going to happen down in Houston. Now, Houston's defense done shown me that they can give up some plays the last couple weeks, which is to be expected. I think they like the 14th ranked defense in the NFL. They haven't disappointed me more than Seattle's defense, but whatever. I think Houston's going to play a great game. I actually think Houston is going to get up for this game. And it's another thing. I like that they let CJ Stroud This is exactly what I'm talking about, bro. I'm finna preach again. Allowing CJ Stroud to actually be a fucking quarterback. Not having him go out there and dink and dunk. And now listen. Some quarterbacks, like, bro, Justin Herbert was not forced to go out there. I mean, Justin Herbert. Justin Fields. I don't know if y'all saw him his first year. His first year, I thought maybe he gonna be that dude. And then in his second year, I started to realize, oh, it's a lot of throws that Justin Fields is not either making or he just ain't even gonna attempt them. Then I started realizing, bro, he is not even throwing this ball to people who are technically open in the NFL. Then I started to realize, wait a minute, bro, I don't think he's seeing this field because this dude, it's passes he should be trying to make and he ain't. Oh, okay, so he just gonna keep taking. Oh, okay, I see what it is. And then I started to see, oh, so now the offense coordinator just gonna dumb it all down, period, so they could. Oh, okay, got it. This ain't that. They are letting CJ Stroud be a quarterback. Now, if CJ Stroud was going out there turning the ball over left and right and he couldn't make something, I'm pretty sure they'd end up dumbing down the offense for him. But it is another thing. Justin Fields, the development in his own game, where has it been? Because you can't tell me it's been in the passing game. Because if it was, the offense would keep expanding. That's why you can keep opening the playbook for Jordan Love. That's why you can keep opening the playbook for Lamar Jackson. That's why you can keep opening the playbook for CJ Stroud. Because those quarterbacks actually show you something. Mind you, back to Mac Jones real quick. Mac, as much as I love you, bruh, you throwing some of the stupidest fucking picks on a weekly basis right now, bruh. What is going on? St. Nick did not teach you that. That's all I'm saying. You need to go talk to your brethren, your fellow Alabama brethren. Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. You need to go talk to him because it's ridiculous. One thing that you don't do when you come out of Alabama, you don't come out with a fried brain. All right, you're not a dumbass. All right, so let's stop making some of these dumbass throws. Roll Tide. Okay, where were we at? Jacksonville, Houston. But yeah, I'm taking Houston to win that game. Yeah. I know what we was talking about. So I like the DeMeco Ryans, who to me should be a candidate for Coach of the Year. Because right now, Houston is a playoff team. I also think they keep letting John Harbaugh not win. I don't know. John Harbaugh actually might be my pick for Coach of the Year right now. Actually, either him or Sirianni. I cannot continue to do this because I picked Sirianni the last 2 years and he ain't won the shit yet. And I don't know how. John Harbaugh is dealing with a hurt roster, key players hurt at different positions. And I understand Lamar Jackson is the reason for a lot of these wins, but he still keep that ship steady. I just think you robbing great coaches a Coach of the Year awards just for stupid ass storytelling narratives for other coaches, and I don't like that. Because Brian Daboll shouldn't be a Coach of the Year, and then the next year he got this type of fucking record. What the hell? When in Sirianni and John Harbaugh been great every year basically. And I know you got more of a sample size from John Harbaugh, but still. It's crazy out here. The 6-4 Pittsburgh Steelers head into Cincinnati to take on the Joe Burrow-less 5-5 Cincinnati Bengals. Now, in all honesty, I really wish both teams could lose this game on the scoreboard. But we know that is not possible. And I'm not even going to entertain you with me wanting a tie to happen because I don't want a tie to happen because a tie would do nothing for Baltimore. So, I'm going to take Pittsburgh because I'm not a dumbass. Cincinnati does not have Joe Burrow. I don't know what this Browning kid can do. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh. Now, I don't really like taking Pittsburgh because I have no faith in Mac Jones. And I actually think Cincinnati could find a way to fuck around and score more points. So you know what? Man, fuck it. I'm taking Cincinnati. That's how bad I think Pittsburgh defense is. I mean, Pittsburgh's offense is. I don't really think highly of their defense either, other than TJ, Cam, and Highsmith. But yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati. Cincinnati, I think, will figure out how to fuck around and score at least 21 points. And if they do that, that's all you're going to need to be sorry ass Pittsburgh. Wow, Cincinnati's defense ain't that great. But it don't matter. Because the Steelers' offense ain't even good. We head to Tampa Bay, where the 4-6 Tampa Bay Well, we actually don't head to Tampa Bay. We head to Indianapolis, where the 5-5 Colts will take on the 4-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, hear me good and hear me clear, motherfucker. I'm doubling down. I'm taking Baker motherfucking midfield to go into Indy and beat the motherfucking Colts. Now listen to me. Hear me good and hear me clear, motherfucker. You lose this game, Baker. You lose this game. My boy, I ain't never picking you again. So hear me good and hear me clear, motherfucker. You lose this game, I'm not picking you again, and I'm going on a rant next week, and I'm frying your ass. Me and you was just starting to be cool, Baker. Win this fucking game. Now, I'm going to tell y'all why I took Baker. Because Baker done look good the last couple weeks, in my opinion. I'm not going to lie. Not to mention, the Bucks are 4-6. If they win this game, they get 5-6. Now, I know I'm talking about L's right now, but just bear with me. Losing records. Atlanta is 4-6. Atlanta need to lose this. I actually want Atlanta to win, even though I picked New Orleans. New Orleans is 5-5. I'm not worried about Carolina. They 1-9, so they don't matter. But New Orleans is 5-5. Atlanta is 4-6. Tampa is 4-6. Tied for second. If you and the Falcons win, it's a tie for first. And then you get rid of this New Orleans having a game lead in the division. All right. And then the rest of the way, all you got to do is be good, Baker. And Tampa can get into the playoffs. So hear me good and hear me clear right now, motherfucker. You better win this game. I'm taking Baker midfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get it done in Indy. The 4-6 Rams head into Arizona to take on the 2-9 Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray back at the helm. I'm taking the Rams. Yeah, listen, man. At some point in time, y'all going to realize the only team in that division that I'm going to take on a normal basis to beat the Rams when we at least when we not good is the Niners, because that's the only team that we struggle to beat. We do not struggle to beat Seattle, which is why we swept them this year, and we don't struggle to beat the Cardinals. So yeah, Kyler Murray is back. Could care less. 99 still is front and center. For some reason, neither the Cardinals or the Seattle Seahawks understand how to play against the Rams, and that is unfortunate for them. But I'm taking the Rams in that game. The 73 Cleveland Browns head into Denver to take on the 5-5 Denver Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos. The Broncos defense has been phenomenal over the last couple weeks. As a matter of fact, I think they've actually been number one. Cleveland is 7-3, and I do like Cleveland's defense. And I do think Cleveland's defense will play a big part in this game. The problem is, how big of an impact is Cleveland's defense going to be able to have when the offense for the Broncos is basically a don't turn it over, don't lose me the game type of offense. So they'll end up hitting a big play here or there. They'll end up lucking up into some crazy shit. They would be willing to just get field goals all game. They're just going to need to make sure they get more field goals than you. And it seems as though that they done figured out how to do that. And I'm not sold on Cleveland on offense yet, bro. So I need to see them. I need to see what they do before I'm picking them with DTR. So I'm taking the Denver Broncos to win this game. The 7-3 Kansas City Chiefs head into Vegas to take on the 5-6 Vegas Raiders. I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game, but I don't think they're gonna blow them out. I think the point spread for this game like 10 points or like 9.5. Fuck no. The Kansas City Chiefs, bro. Put this in perspective for you. If the Chiefs don't score in the second half of this game, or let's say they do score in the second half of this game, however many points they score in the second half of this game will be all the points they scored in the second half of games this month. In a 4-week span, counting the game that's coming up, making that the fourth week, they have scored 0 points up until whatever they do in the second half of this game that they have tomorrow. So that is wild. But when I'm presented with new information that's actually valid information, I have to incorporate it at least for a week or two. And it haven't seemed to matter about the level of competition they play, because everybody ain't been the Eagles. Okay? So I'm going to take Kansas. Now, the Raiders defense is not Denver's defense. It ain't the Eagles defense. But like I said, this the third week. They done this 3 weeks in a row. Them 3 weeks wasn't playing against top tier defenses. So with that being said, I'm taking Kansas City, but that's a crazy point spread. Buffalo 6-5. They head into Philly to take on the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this will be an interesting game. I'm taking Philly to win this game. And this is why I say that it's interesting, because, boy, you lose this game, Buffalo, you move to 6-6. And unlike Lamar Jackson, see, I always tell y'all it's easy for me to pick Lamar Jackson against certain teams because I know he's going to show up. He got a history of showing up against the top tier teams. That has never been my problem with him. Pat Mahomes, I know he's going to show up against the big teams. At this point, Jalen Hurts' best games are usually against the best teams. So I'm not worried about a certain quarterback showing up against good teams. I'm not worried about Josh Allen showing up against a good team. However, I don't know what that defense will be able to do against a Philadelphia offense with this type of weaponry. This will be a good game because this is two quarterbacks who I do think step up in big moments and they play great games in big spots. And this will be the primetime game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Raven fan, but I do think that this actually should have been the primetime game for the simple fact that the fucking Chargers are 4-6. If the Chargers make the playoffs, bruh, it will happen the last week of the season. Buffalo is still very much a playoff team right now. Even though I don't think they're going to catch Miami. Maybe if they go on a little winning streak and then they get that last game over Miami, possible. I don't know, man. They got a tough little schedule ahead, but I don't think Buffalo win this game, but I would not be shocked if they did. The reason I don't think they'll win this game is because the Eagles don't have a terrible defense. The Eagles not finna just be letting them throw touchdowns left and right on the defense. They're going to have to work for scores. And when you have to work for scores for Josh Allen in this offense, it can get a little tricky. That's when the turnovers start to happen. Because this is, to me, not an offense that's meant to go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plays. This is an offense that want to score quick, get the ball out of his hand quick, get it to Stephon Diggs, make big plays. When you have to slow it down and get it to the Dawson Knox, the Gabriel Davises, and all these other dudes, that's when a lot of the mistakes start to happen and whatnot. So I just think, and like I said, if it's one team that I think can win in any type of way, and I'm almost there with the Ravens, just not quite yet, it's the Eagles. I done said it all year. They can win every single style of play that you want to play. You want to play a high-scoring game against Washington? Cool. We'll play that and we'll win it. You want to play a slow game where it's barely any scoring against KC? In KC? Cool. We'll play that and we'll win that. You want us to play a close, grinded out game against our division opponents in Dallas? Cool. We'll do that and we'll win that. I mean, you just take your pick. How do you want them to win it? They'll win it just like you want them to. So right now, I think Philly is just the most complete team. They might not be the best at every level. They might not be the best at every position. But just as far as knowing how to win in every single way you could possibly win right now, I think Philly is the ones to do it. And that's why they're so tough to beat right now. That's exactly why they are 10-1. And so I'm taking Philadelphia to win this game also. The 8-3 Baltimore Ravens are taking on the Chargers. Y'all already knew I was taking Baltimore in that game. I told y'all that a couple weeks ago. It was not. Matter of fact, let me talk about this Chicago game real quick. The 3-8 Chicago Bears heading to Minnesota to take on the 6-5 Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. I got Minnesota. Okay, so back to this Baltimore Chargers game. Listen, I'm not telling you there's no reality where it's not a competitive game. You know what I'm saying? Or a close game. Now, I don't think the Chargers winning this game. I actually, in my mind right now, don't have a reality in which the Chargers win this game. Like, I think Lamar could go out there and throw 5 interceptions and they could still win this game. Yeah, it's that deep. For one, I don't think Lamar gonna do that. But here's a couple problems I'm having. I don't think Joey Bosa gonna be playing this week. I think the Ravens offensive line is more than good enough to stifle a pass rush from the Chargers. The Chargers secondary is not good. Lamar Jackson and these weapons can light that secondary up even without a Mark Andrews. And I think the bigger problem that you're about to face is if you allow Isaiah Likely to just run around one man covered, you're probably going to end up paying for that if he is doing what he's supposed to do. Because he still is not the type of guy. If he is on his game, you don't want to have him single covered. Because he a big tight end who play more like a big receiver than a big tight end. So it's hard for me right now to see a reality in which the Chargers can score more points than what the Ravens can score on their defense. A big reason why. I don't see the Ravens defense breaking and giving up too many points to the Chargers. I understand the Chargers have Keenan Allen. He's going to probably see Marlon Humphrey for the majority of the game and then get Stevens. And then whoever the second receiver is, definitely getting Stevens. I don't think it's going to be a ton of success happening for the Chargers. Now, I do believe they'll dink and dunk a lot of the time. Austin Eckler will probably get a play or two. But I just think I honestly think that this could be one of those games where Justin Herbert actually have one of his worst turnover type games in his career. This to me could easily be a 5 turnover game for Justin Herbert. I could see him fumble the ball at least once or twice and lose it. And I could see him throwing a couple interceptions. I could see him throwing a couple interceptions to the secondary and to Roquan Smith. Because I can see them trying to run running back plays with Roquan in the vicinity. I just don't think the Chargers match up well against the Ravens right now. Now, I'm not telling you that the Chargers can't go out there and miraculously find a way, or the Ravens come out there and just absolutely shit the bed. But the one thing I done said so far is the Ravens haven't gotten beat this year. Go and look at every single Ravens loss. The Ravens is beating themselves. It's not one game this year that the Ravens have lost because the other team just beat them. Oh, they just outplayed the Ravens. The Ravens was leading in damn near every single one of them. They was leading in every one of them games up until the last couple moments. So the Ravens to me is damn near a Eagles team. The Eagles is just the ones that are 9-1 and they done shown you, yeah, we're not going to beat ourselves too much, bro. The Ravens done been beating themselves. But when the Ravens play their game, even if it's for 3 quarters, I just think that'll be too much for the Chargers, especially if Khalil Mack by himself can't find a way to get to Lamar Jackson on a regular basis. If they can't find a way to muster up a pass rush every single play, it's going to be hard to stop Baltimore. Whereas the Ravens lead the league in sacks. You know they coming into this game knowing they got 3 sacks on the board already. So Justin Herbert, in my opinion, going to have to play a far tougher game than what Lamar Jackson is about to have to play. And so if Lamar Jackson can have time to just make the plays and whatnot, I just don't see a close game happening here. And I understand we're going to blame all these other type of things, but I would like to point out when the Chargers defense was playing phenomenal this year, what the fuck was their offense doing? But I just think this could be one of them games where they about to run into a buzzsaw. But with that being said, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind. Taxi driver, you're my strength for the hour. Don't leave the meter running. It's rush hour. So take the streets if you wanna. Just outrun the demons, could you? He said, Allahu Akbar. I told him don't curse me. But boy, you need prayer. I guess it couldn't hurt me. If it brings me to my knees, it's a bad religion. Ooh, this avocado died. Hey, yo, Frank Ocean was fucking that shit up, bro. With that being said, though, tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. And once again, happy Thanksgiving. But Christmas time is here. Like, subscribe, share. I was about to forget to say that. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.